Hi everyone. I hope the things are right now. Okay. चलो हम लोग start करते हैं. Uh, yeah. Let's start with the basic part. Okay. Okay. So what we are going to discuss in today's session, uh, we are going to discuss first of all. Let's be quickly show an exam calendar. Okay. Then let me talk about the CAT paper pattern quickly. Then we'll have a percentile analysis. Now from this percentile analysis, you only decide date is available. And for snap there are 3 dates available, so you can take all the 3 attempts. They will take your best of the scores they will consider. So this is just a simple exam calendar to give the idea about what are the exam schedule and what are the dates are there. Okay, now just understand, I'm just showing a CAT paper pattern because certain things are assumed that CAT will be in this manner only. Okay, so just understand one thing. Look at a CAT 2024 paper pattern. So CAT 2024, there are total 68 questions I can see here. Okay, out of which 48 were MCQs question, that is there were the options available for those questions. 20 questions were they were without any options, so you're supposed to type the answer for that. And that is how you have a total of 204 marks paper, and total you had a 140 minutes, and sectional time limit is there. Okay, so more of all of you know the last year paper pattern. I'm just comparing this CAT 2023 with the CAT 2024 paper pattern. So if you look at 23 and 24, there is the only change is what? In DI, instead of 20 questions, there are now 22 questions in DI. Instead of 20 questions in DI, there were 22 questions in DI. Is that okay? That's the only change happened if you look at the number of questions. But because of this, the number of sets which in DILR reasoning DILR part, the number of sets were 4. Now the number of sets become 5 suddenly. Okay, so if somebody is saying, okay, I need 99 percentile, so in CAT 23 probably 2 sets you attempt fully correct 99 percentile. Now that change to probably 2.5 set to 3 sets in CAT 124. Okay, now what is going to be a CAT 125 paper pattern? What is going to be a CAT 24 paper pattern? Fine. So just understand one thing. Though we are predicting more or less for many years, CAT is more or less the same number of questions they're asking. Just last year there was a small change. So everybody is expecting more or less on the same paper pattern. Okay, but if you look at a CAT notification properly, they haven't mentioned anywhere the number of questions. They are just talking about the total number of minutes, and they're talking about a 40 minutes for each section. They have definitely mentioned these 3 sections, but they haven't mentioned number of questions. They haven't mentioned total marks. Okay, so if I know the history of the CAT has asked the multiple question mark, means what I'm saying, variable question marking also means some question of 2 marks, some questions of 1 mark. That kind of paper also CAT has produced. You look at a CAT 1 5 paper, so there are some questions were of 2 marks, some questions were of 1 mark. So I'll say ki more or less we're expecting the paper on the same lines of the same as last year, but be ready for the changes. That's what I'm suggesting through this paper pattern. Fine. Now I'm just going to give one more analysis. You understand that analysis well, then you realize, okay, some of you might have some myths. Okay, how many marks are required? Somebody asked me how many marks are required to score 99 percentile, or I want 99.5 percentile. How many marks are there? So this data will give you the answer to that question. Okay, so what I've done, from the students of last year, I've just through going through their scorecards, I have just collected this data. That is what, these are the scale scores. First of all, these are the scale score. First of all, these are not the actual scores. No issues in this part. So basically, what is the scale score? Suppose you score 20 marks in a section, but you have scored that 20 marks in an easy paper. So on your scale score maybe less than 20. If that 20 marks in a difficult paper, that's 20 can be scaled to the 21, 22 also. So these are not what actually you score. That's why the number of your marks are something like that: 11.04, 11.45, and 6.13, and so on. Am I right? Fine. So can you see, to score 60 percentile, okay, in VRC, how many marks are required? 11 marks are required. DILR, how many marks are required? 11.45 marks are required. And can you see here, 6.13 marks are required to score 60 percentile in QA section. Okay, can I interpret this data? Can anybody interpret this QA wala part? Can you interpret this QA wala part? It indicates that 6.13, if I say 6 marks, means what? 60% students, okay, 60% students got less than 2 questions correct. So 2 questions correct, they were around 60% students did not get even 2 questions correct. So 60 percentile means you're in the top 40% people. So only 40% students got a 2 question net correct in Quant. So in Quant, you could have got 2 questions correct last year. You would have got a 60 percentile. That is the meaning of this data. No issues in this portion. Is that part is very, very clear? Fine. Now, same way, can you go through these numbers? I'm just showing this screen on for a couple of minutes. 1 minute, I'll just show this on. Can you just going through these details? What they have mentioned? Can you go through this? So 1 correct is 3 marks. So somebody says, okay, 24 marks means basically you required 8 questions correct, net 8 questions correct. So you attempted it, you got 8 correct, your score will be 24 marks. No issues in this part. So can you just go through this data and you only analyze this? You only analyze this data. Is that okay? Fine. So suppose somebody, often many people talk about a 99 percentile. Okay. So basically, if I talk about a, let's say 99 percentile in QA last year, 99 percentile in QA last year. So can I say it is 33 marks? So if I write a number of questions to be correct, around 11 questions net correct. In DILR, look at 13 questions net correct. Okay. And here I can say, okay, here I can say what, a 47.17%. That is how much? 41.17 is how much? Approximately 14 questions correct. 14 questions correct. No issues in this part. Fine. Okay. So I'll just a minute. So I'm just checking if I can switch off my camera so that the data will be fully visible. ठीक है. I'm not able to shift the video. I'll show you that data properly later. ठीक है. So I'll come back to the conclusions here. So those for the 98, 99, the data is not visible. I just show it. 98 is around, I'm writing the rough numbers now. 36, 34, 28. Overall you required is 87. And for 99, I write 42, 38, 33. Overall you required 96. No issues in this part. Is that part is clear? Fine. So can you understand, अगर मुझे 99 percentile चाहिए तो here required 14 questions correct. Here are required 13 questions correct. Here are required only 11 questions correct. Okay. And that overall you require around 96 marks. 96 marks is how much? Approximately 32 questions correct. 96 marks is around 32 questions correct. So can you understand, out of 68 questions, if somebody would have got net 32 questions correct, that's what, less than 50%. Okay. So with a less than 50% score, can you say you could have scored 99 percentile marks? Fine. So if somebody's got 99 percentile in last year CAT and he's among the top 1% people in CAT, basically that person has just scored around 50% score overall. So net score is around 50%. That's a simple meaning of this data. Is that part is very, very clear? Fine. Okay. Now what I do, I just do the comparison of 23 and 24. I just do the comparison of 23 and 24. So can you just do this comparison so you'll have a idea about it? Okay. So if somebody asking me how many marks are required for a particular percentile, okay, one thing you need to understand is what? Look at here. Last year, can you see the QA part? Okay, can you see the maths part? Let's say I'm going to on a higher numbers. For 80 percentile, here required was 9.59. Here required was 11.85. Okay. Now there are two reasons for it. Can somebody tell me what is the reason behind it? Why the marks required increase for a certain percentile? Can anybody tell me? 80 percentile in QA, 23 cat 23 just 9.59 was sufficient, but same you require cat 24 11.2 11.85. So what is the reason behind it? Easier paper, exam was easy. Okay, there is one more reason. Paper might be a bit easy. Merit 23 exam was easy. Oh, 23 exam was easy. Ulta hona chahiye na, 24 exam was easy. Fine. Okay, now what I'm saying, there are two factors affecting it. First factor, the first factor is probably one factor affecting that percentile could be paper is on the easier side. Okay, paper is on the easier side. Fine. Okay, now paper is on the easier side. Fine. So you require more marks to score in the same paper to get the more percentile, same percentile. Second reason could be the number of takers are more. If you have a same paper, okay, just understand, same paper this year is given by, let's say, 2 lakh people, next year is given by 4 lakh people. If the number of takers goes up, still to get the same percentile you require a higher marks. Okay, so you pray to the god that number of takers should not go up. If the number of takers goes up, you require higher marks to score the same percentile. And that is the situation. Probably I'll say, if I take a situation 3-4 years back, okay, so number of takers have drastically gone up. So probably at 11.85 marks 3 years back, the percentile could have been higher with the same difficulty level paper. Without changing the difficulty level paper, your percentile would have been higher few years back. Fine. But as number of takers has gone up, the cut to marks required to get that higher numbers has gone. Fine. So I can clearly see one in Quant throughout. You take any percentile number, there's an increase in the score. Same thing is in DILR also. Look at 7, 11, 9, 13, 11, 18, 13, 19. And that's what I told you, if you remember, that to get a 99 percentile, okay, last year, okay, here 23 you require 27 marks, here you require 38 marks. Okay, so number of questions you need correct here should be around how much? 13 questions correct. So probably I should get one set of 5 questions correct plus 4 plus 4. Okay, that is how I can get the 13 questions correct in DILR. Fine. So you can analyze this table. Okay, these numbers are shown. If you want, I'll share the numbers later on this. I'll give a link of this data in the chat box or in the description link, so that you can analyze these numbers later. Fine. So I'm just trying to tell you what one thing is. If you are targeting, I will score this much, that is not going to help you, because paper is easy. You require higher marks for the same percentile. Number of takers are more, you require the higher marks for the same percentile. Okay, paper is easy, that I can still guess in the paper. Okay, that paper is easy, I can still guess in the paper. Okay, this is comparatively easier to last year. But how will you guess about the number of takers? Okay, how many people are taking the exam? That data may not be publicly available before the exam. You're getting my point? So don't set your targets in the terms of marks, and don't do that limited amount of preparation. That is a message I'm trying to communicate through this data. That percentile can be affected with the difficulty level, percentile can be affected with the number of takers. Fine. I hope my message is clear. Fine. Now I just give you another important data which will help you to understand what amount of preparation I should do and how I should prepare for it. I'm just giving you one data. Just understand that data, how I'm giving you data. Suppose you get 60 percentile in VRC, 60 percentile in DILR, 60 percentile in QA In every section, you got 60 percentile. Overall, in CAT 23, you would have got 62.5. Here also, you would have got 62.5 percentile. If you get 70 percentile in every section, 70 in every section, overall, you could have got 74.5, 74 percentile. CAT 23, CAT 24, both the data I'm showing you. Look at, you got 80, 80, 80 in each section. Overall, you would have got 85.8, 84.2. So what I'm trying to show you, that look at this data, that if you score 80 percentile in every section, overall I get around 85 percentile. Means without scoring 80%, 85 percentile in any of the section, my every section score is 80 percentile. But overall, I'm going to get 85 percentile. And that's the key for cracking the CAT. That a very high score in one section may not help you to score overall high percentile, but an equally good performance in all the three sections will help you to score higher percentile in overall CAT. Is that part is very clear? So for those who the data is not visible, I'm just showing that 98, 98, 98, and it is overall 99.3 percentile. 99, 99, 99. Overall, it is 99.75 percentile. Okay, so basically, if your target is overall, I should score 99 percentile overall. So on an average, you should score 97.7 percentile in every section. If you get 97.7 in every section, you will overall get 99 percentile. So I'm saying if you're overall in the let's say aspiring for 99 percentile, you do not target 99 percentile section wise. Section wise, you should try to get equal percentile in every section. Is that okay? No issues in this part? Fine. Let me go ahead now. Sure. Fine. Now let's move to that 90 days to CAT part. Fine. So what I'll do, I share some data with you. As I shared some data with you, I have just understand the facts of that. I've written one statement on the screen. Do you agree with that? CAT is the easiest exam in the terms of getting the admission into a good B school. Do you agree that statement? You can say, but you don't need to be agree with me. But I am saying that is my what I'm saying firm belief that if you're looking for a top colleges, CAT is the easiest exam. Okay, I'll tell you why CAT is the easiest exam. I just share some data with you. See, if you look at, let's say my target is top 50 colleges. If I target is my top 50 colleges, around out of top 50 colleges, around 33 colleges accept the CAT score. You getting my point? So almost what 65% of the top 50 colleges accept the CAT score. You getting? So if you have a good CAT score, you have a high chances of getting to top colleges. Now the sheer reason with the pure reason for that is what? Your total number of seats are more, because more colleges are accepting the CAT score. There are more number of seats available. Is that okay? I just give a simple example. Let's say, for example, I take one college like a Wellinger in Mumbai. Okay. Okay. So Wellinger College can accept. You can get admission through CAT also. Wellinger College, you can get admission through the Maharashtra MBA CET also. Those who are not aware about the Maharashtra MBA, I'm just giving the rough idea. You can get admission through CET also. So at a Wellinger, at let's say 90 percentile approximately, you can get a Wellinger in CAT. But in CET at 98 percentile also you may not get CET. Okay, so if you want Wellinger through CET at 98 percentile also you may not get a CET. Whereas the difficulty level of CET is much lower to CAT. So if the exam is easier, what is the reason behind it? The reason behind it is what? Through CET the number of seats are lesser. So through CAT also the number of seats are not very high. But if somebody has a 95 percentile, he will not apply to the Wellinger, he'll apply to the better colleges. Okay, because the better colleges available than Wellinger at 95 percentile. No issues. So that's why I'm saying, being more colleges accepting the CAT score, the number of seats available are more, so your chances of selection are very high. Okay, so if you're thinking, okay, I'll try to nmat, I'll try to snap, you just count the number of seats and then do the analysis. That part is very clear. Let me go ahead. Okay, second thing, your relative performance is considered. Okay, so as I said, relative performance, your percentile score is considered. Okay, now please understand one thing. I just give one common example to all those who feel, let's say, CAD exam is a tough exam. Let's say it's about tough. If you give CD exam, you might feel that CD exam, or let's say some other exam, let's say SNAP as exam. SNAP as exam, you might feel that exam is easier. But again, probably require a higher percentile to get into top colleges. Okay, so whatever your friends, or let's say whoever people are taking the CAD exam, whatever amount of preparation they have done, you have to do better than them. That's a simple logic. Okay, my firm belief is your final score is directly proportional to the amount of preparation done. Okay, you ask yourself, okay, somebody thinks that my scores are not improving. You ask yourself, okay, how much amount of preparation you have done? If you say, sir, I've covered everything, I've done basics, I'm giving every mock cat, I have solved the books for every topic, at least I've solved 50, 60 questions, then probably it's a concern you are working going wrong in the strategy. But otherwise, most of the cases, I'll say the जितना प्रिपरेशन किया उतना आपका स्कोर में दिखेगा. Fine. So let's say if somebody is at this 90-day stage, okay, uh, somebody may not be, somebody might be starting at this from the start. Somebody's already half done the preparation. Somebody has done almost 90% amount of preparation. He's finished the full syllabus. He's just giving them all. So everybody's at different stages. I'll explain you that part. So 90 days are sufficient even if you're starting from the scratch, but the amount of time you need to give is a higher. Okay, so you need to make the best use of these 90 days, right? Okay, make simple example देता हूँ, just समझो. Let's say if somebody says the CAD is a tough exam, I say काम कर देते. If tomorrow IIM declares कि CAT will not consider CAD exam, will not consider CAD exam for the admission. Instead of CAD exam, what we'll do for those 3 lakh candidates, suppose appearing for CAT, we'll ask 3 lakh candidate to run 2000 meters, and time required to complete that 2000-meter race is considered for giving the admission. Just think this way: 2000 meter you have to run. How much time you take to complete that 2000 meter? That will note down the time, whatever the lowest possible unit in time possible, seconds, microseconds, and based on that, we'll give the admission. Now, in that case, do you deserve a chance now? कि अगर मुझे बोला कि नहीं मुझे 99 percentile चाहिए, means you should be in the top 3000 students. So if 3 lakh people are running a 2000-meter race, can you come in the first 3000 people? So if some of you might say, okay, I am a very good athlete, I have a great chance for that. Some of you will say, no, still I have to prepare for that race. So my logic is same. Whether it's a study part, or it's a subject-wise exam is there, or whether it's a running exam is there, you have to prepare for it. You have to do better than others, because there is nothing called as a passing mark. There is just a comparative performance is there. So that you understand well. I have to do better than other. Okay, I just give a hypothetical situation also. Let's say the CAT paper is so difficult, so difficult, so difficult. Okay, that you did not attempt a single question. You got 0 marks. Okay, let's say it's not. I'm not scaling the score. You did not attempt any question. You got 0 marks. Everybody else attempted some questions and they got everything wrong. So can I say others got negative marks because they attempted something and that got wrong? You got 0 marks. So on your scorecard, it will be written 0 marks and 100 percentile. On your scorecard, it will be written 0 marks and 100 percentile. You're getting my point? So people might ask you, your interview will be published on a news, on a television, that how you score that 100 percentile. So not attempting anything. Okay. Even you see a CAT has a very interesting data. People who got a 0 marks, they have 17 percentile approximately. थोड़ा एक ऊपर नीचे होता रहता है हर साल. So 13 to 17% means around 17% people are getting the negative marks. Fine, no issues in this part. Okay, so I'm saying कि you keep any parameter for selection, you have to prepare for that parameter, whether it's a study or whether it's a race. Okay. Now, so what is my simple plan? First of all, you count the number of hours available with you. So those who are working people, you have every day 2 hours available. In weekends, some, let's say, 12 hours available. Okay. Those who are college going candidates, you have probably 3-4 hours daily available. Those who are already passed out, not working, you have more number of hours available. Okay. So you count the total number available with you, and then plan how much amount of preparation I can do in that part. Okay. So plan that way. I'll tell you what syllabus is there and what to do, what not to do at this stage. Okay. Planning should include a time allocation for preparation of basics, practice, online test, all India mock cats, analysis. Right. Now, some of you, look at, I don't know at what stage you are. Some of you might have finished these 2 stages. Okay, these 3 stages are remaining. Or some of you might have finished first 3 steps and you're just worried about these last 2 steps. So I'm just giving the from the scratch. Okay, these are the 5 steps, how your preparation should done. So somebody's already finished the first 3 steps, so you definitely should go for the fourth and the fifth step. Okay. But somebody's not yet started the preparation, I'll say, okay, probably you skip this online test. All India mock cats, you do not take all the mock cats now. You take the selected number of mock cats and do the proper analysis. That will guide you. Okay. uh, how to prepare for that? Okay. So make area wise, I go area wise, so you'll have a better idea. So my first stage is what? Understanding the basics. Second stage is solving the practice material, online sectional test, AIMCATs, SAMCATs. Okay. Your speed versus accuracy analysis, and you're finalizing the strategy. These are the 6 steps, stages of preparation are there. Okay. So those who have just starting the preparation, or let's say you started your preparation 15 days back, probably you may not give all the MCATs and SAMCATs. Okay. Because already some mock cats are happened. You may not give all the online sectional test, but there is no escape to this portion. Okay. There's no escape to this portion. These 2 stages you have to do it. Fine. So I just give you the simple idea how you're supposed to prepare for it. Okay. So I take a one simple topic, let's say a very common topic to everyone, let's say time and distance. Okay. I'm not just giving a reference of the con topic, but I'm giving you time and distance as a topic, for example. Okay. So time and distance, what is time and distance basics part? Basics are there. How to solve time and distance question without equations using ratio, average speed, relative speed. I'll come to the SAMCATs. Yes, I'll just start talking. Okay. Average speed is there. Relative speeds are there. Question based on trains, boats and streams, linear race, circular race, clocks. So my understanding is, if you're doing time and distance, you do the full syllabus. You do not skip anything from the time and distance. Okay. Once you do time and distance, okay, now I know the basics of the time and distance part. So that is a part. So I know circular tracks, when they meet for the first time, when they meet for the first time at starting point, what are the rules related to that? Everything I've studied basics part. Is that okay? Okay. What about solving practice material? Now please understand, in this session, some of you are the time students, some of you are non-time students. Those who are time students, you can definitely solve the books which are given to you. Those are non-time students. Okay. You can buy a time material, or if you feel any other material suitable for you, you can go ahead with that. I definitely suggest, for being a time uh, uh, course director, I just definitely suggest a time material, because we update the material every year, because cat is changing every year. The kind of questions asked 20 years back and kind of questions asked today are not the same. So 10 years back material won't be that useful today. Fine. So you, whatever material is there, practice that. So I'm saying, when you're practicing this, you should solve at least 50 to 60 questions of this topic. Okay. So one way of solving these 50-60 questions, you properly solve practice material. Fine. Another way could be those who have the past cat papers available. You can solve the past cat papers. From that you can solve these 50-60 questions. But so many 50-60 questions may not be available from one for every topic, because for some topics the weightage is low. Right. So for every topic you'll prepare like this. The third stage is, let's say I solve time and distance, I practice the questions also, but while solving in preparing the basics, or while solving the practice material, I was not aware about the time limit. I was doing it without time limit. So the online sectional text, the online sectional days, okay, the online sectional tests are basically the within time limit can I attempt the question. Probably a 30-minute test, okay, with the 15 questions. So in that 30 minutes, if 15 questions are there, definitely in 30 minutes, 15 questions you cannot attempt. But can you check, okay, out of these 15 questions, if my target is to attempt half the number of questions and get it correct, which are those 7-8 questions I can choose? That is the strategy building happens to the online sectional test. Fine. So those who have just started, if you have a sufficient amount of time available, definitely go for online sectional test. If you don't have a sufficient time not available, a sufficient time available, then do not do the online section at this stage. Rather, you finish the full syllabus. That is my suggestion. Right. So this you have to do it for all the areas. So time and distance, just one example I've given. The same thing you have to do it for the DILR part. Same thing you have to do it for the VRC part. Whichever topic you finish, you practice that topic. Take a online sectional test also. Fine. I'll come to the stage 4, stage 5, stage 6 at the end. Fine. So let's look at the stage 1 preparation. What is that? So let's say when you're solving the questions of that, as I said, you prepare the basics of that. Okay. Make a note of important rules and concepts. Okay. Do not worry about the speed at this stage, as I said. Okay. Now see, when you're actually practicing the questions, okay, when you're solving the practice material, again you're doing without time limit. But see, when you're practicing the material, my suggestion is what? When you're doing a stage 1, you're understanding the basis, you give a preference to the method rather than a shortcut. Okay, that do I understood the concept. But when you're solving the practice material, you're practicing more questions. Then can you work on the options? Can I get solve the answer from the options? Okay, so for example, there is a 30% profit. Okay, and after 30% profit and something, they're asking what is the selling price. So my understanding is your original price is 100. If you add 30%, your selling price is going to be 130. 130 is a multiple of 13. So your option should be multiple of 13. If there's only one option multiple of 13, you mark that as the answer. Right? So there you work on the options. Okay. When you're solving those questions, you mark, okay, this is a very good question. I learned some new concept in this. Mark as 2 star, 3 star, 4 star, 5 star मतलब एकदम अलग क्वेश्चन है, एकदम आउट ऑफ द वर्ल्ड कॉन्सेप्ट है. ओके, आई मे नॉट बी बॉदर अबाउट क्वेश्चंस जहाँ पे बहुत सारा इक्वेशंस बना के सॉल्व किया है मैथ्स में, या लॉट ऑफ कॉम्प्लेक्स थिंग्स आर अरेंज टुगेदर इन DILR सेट and then final solution is obtained. I'm not worried about those sets, because probably those kind of sets I may not attempt in the actual exam. क्योंकि अरे बहुत डिफिकल्ट क्वेश्चन है, एक पेज का सोल्यूशन है. आर यू गोइंग टू अटेम्प्ट दैट क्वेश्चन इन एग्जाम? प्रोबेबली नॉट. सो जब मैं इंपॉर्टेंट क्वेश्चंस की बात कर रहा हूं, there should be some learning through those questions. There should be some learning through those questions. Fine. Okay. So whenever see, I've seen a lot of people have a very good habit. वो नोटबुक पे आपका जो भी बुक आप रेफर करो उसके साइड में नोट्स लिख के रखते हैं. They write some formula in that. Okay. So mark notes of types of question which you find it difficult. Because आप जब सॉल्व करो तो आपको आइडिया आ जाएगा, हाँ दिस पर्टिकुलर टाइप ऑफ क्वेश्चन आई एम नॉट फाइंडिंग. जैसे टाइम एंड डिस्टेंस एग्जांपल. Okay, I'm not getting a circular track questions correctly. So you mark their circular tracks to be revised again. Or linear race questions, I'm not getting it very correctly. Linear race to be revised again. So that you do it. So that you have to do it for each and every topic. Fine. This I'm talking the general part. I'm going in the area wise. I'll give you the topic wise. I'll give you the topic wise inputs. Okay. As I said, online sectional test. That is a this option C. this facility or this option may not be available with every student, because as I said, if you're a time student, so you might have this option, or you might have some other material. Just see if the online sectional tests are available, so that topic wise you can take those sectional tests. Fine. Okay, now let's go area wise preparation. Fine. So पहले से डिफिकल्ट एरिया से शुरू करते हैं जहाँ पे सबको प्रॉब्लम है. दैट इज द मैथ्स पार्ट. फाइन. ओके. Now I'm just giving this rough data you to understand this. Okay. In CAT 24, 88% students score less than 12 marks. 12 marks means what? How many? 4 questions correct. 81% students score less than 12 marks. So again 4 questions correct. Everybody? So even if I take both the exams together, I'm just trying to tell that 80% of the students are not able to get even a 4 questions correct in Quant. You're getting my point? So in whatever amount of preparation you have right now this stage, the same difficulty level paper is produced. Same number of takers are there. Can I say if you just choose the 4 questions from your paper and if you get it correct, you'll still among the top 80% people. And like that you get 80 percentile, not top 80, but top 20% people. If you get 80 percentile in every section, you will cross 85 percentile overall, which is the cutoff for many of the IIMs. Why I'm taking that word 80 percentile. Okay, so if you get 80 percentile in every section, you'll overall get 85 percentile. और उसके लिए करेक्ट कितना लाना है कॉन्ट में? सिर्फ 4 क्वेश्चन करेक्ट लाना है. ठीक है. So what I'm saying is, why I'm giving you these things, I'm not saying you just get a 4 questions correct. I am saying that as it is, people are not getting so many questions correct in the exam. So with a cool mind, if you just select the questions in Quant properly, answer them correctly, you have a high chances of getting the better percentile, even with the amount of preparation you have at this right stage. Whatever amount of preparation, suppose somebody says, I've just done a 50% of the syllabus. If you, for that 50% syllabus, if you choose the right question, still you can get a better percentile. Fine. So that is the reason I'm giving you this data. Fine. Now I will come back to that Quant part. Okay. But see, I just tell you, I'm training the students for more than 20 years. Okay. And what is my observation is, the quality of the students in the terms of knowing the school level basics is slightly going down. Okay, so for example, out of 100 students, earlier I say, okay, 20% are weak in very weak in school basics. Probably that number is right now 50%, and you can see that number is very much evident from the this data also. Fine. So my I say ki whatever number of people are attending this session, if I take that as a sample size, in that also I will find a similar people, around 80% people I find who is watching this session may not be getting the 4 questions correct. Right. So the missing part I feel is the school level basics. Okay, you deny this fact, somebody might ask you at this stage what kind of things you're asking me to know. Okay, I'll tell you with the example why I should know these things. Fine. So मुझे क्या क्या पता होना चाहिए, and you ask yourself, do you know? You just put a tick mark on that. Okay, I should know tables up to 30. Somebody said, why should I know the table? I know I have a calculator. I'll tell you why where calculator won't be fine. Fine. Squares up to 30, cubes up to 15, reciprocal up to 16. I'll tell you what I mean by reciprocals. You should know all the values from 2 raised to 1 to 2 raised to 12, 3 raised to 1 to 3 raised to 8, 5 raised to 1 to 5 raised to 5, and 7 raised to 1 to 7 raised to 4. I should know these values very well. Okay, I'll give you the example why I should know these values. For example, somebody say, sir, tables calculator pe kar lenge. Okay, I just give you a question. 2 raised to 3500 divided by 153. What is the remainder? A question. To solve this question, I have to split 153. You have to split 153 into two parts. So can you answer 153 कैसे split होगा? Split in such a way there is no common factor between two numbers. Method अलग है, उसका method क्या, I'm not going in that method. I'm saying to solve that question मुझे 153 को split करना पड़ेगा. Calculator will help you there. अगर मुझे 17 9s are 153, 17 का टेबल पता है तो I can say okay this is 17 into 9. Then remainder concept will come in picture. So even if you know the remainder concept, if you're not able to split 153 quickly, you're wasting your time. And as I said, I have to do it better than others. There are people who know this. Fine. I should know the squares till 30. I've just given the values for the reference. Okay. I should know the squares till 30. I've given the values for the reference. Okay. So I just say, okay, let's say you are solving one question, okay, where x square is 729. Then what is x? So I should know ये किसका square है. Is that okay? So 729 is basically what? 27 square. So x is 27. There's a question in a CAT. How many 4-digit perfect squares are of the form AABB? A and B are non-zero digits. How many perfect squares are of the form AABB? There's a question in CAT. Now to solve this question, can you tell me how many squares till 30 have last two digits same? How many squares till 30 have last two digits same? Is that okay? So if you know the squares well, okay, I can say look at 12 square is 144. Last two digits are same, 4. If I know that part, then further solving, knowing the concept, what you have learned in numbers, using those concepts, you can solve that question further. Right? So small things are there which are required. For example, I just give another example. I should know the cubes. So suppose you have a compound interest formula. Amount is P 1 plus R by 100 the whole raised to N. Your principal is 10,000. Rate of interest is 30%. I'm doing it for 3 years. So this is a compound interest formula. Here I'll get 1.3 the whole cube. Do you know 13 cube? How much is the 13 cube? If I know 13 cube, then I can do it faster. Otherwise, I have to use calculator 1.3 into 1.3 into 1.3, and then it will take me more time to get the answer. So I'm just showing the topic. It is nothing to do. Nobody asks you 13 cube is how much, but it is required while solving the questions. Okay? I've given all the other values also. 2 raised to 1, 2 raised to 2. I've given till 4, 2 raised to 12. I've given till 2 raised to 12. 3 raised to 1, 3 square, 3 cube. I've given till 3 raised to 8. ये सारे values पता होने चाहिए मुझे. Fine. I can show you n number of examples. Let's say there's a question on logarithm. Log of 243 to the base 27. You know logarithm, but you can solve the question if you identify what is 243. 243 is basically, I can say 3 raised to 5. So I can say log of 3 raised to 5, 27 is 3 cube. Then further log rules will come in picture to solve that question. Is that okay? Is that part is very clear? So if you don't understand 243 as 3 raised to 5, their calculator won't help you. Calculator won't tell you 243 is 3 raised to 5. Calculator might help you to find 3 raised to 5. But 243 is what power of what number? यहाँ पे numbers लेंगे, and that will act as a speed breakers for you. So those who are practicing, I see many students, okay, I say, okay, these are the steps, solve further. They're not able to solve because they have a struggle in this portion. Fine. So few basic things I'm quickly covering. I should know the reciprocal in the terms of percentage. Half is 50%, 1/3 is 33.33%, 1/4 is 25%, and so on. 16 is 6.25%. I'm not writing all the values here. So all these values I should know. So those who have started with the DI class or they have solved DI calculation classes, you know these numbers are required. Fine. Let me go ahead. I should know these values also. If you want, you can take a screenshot of this. Okay, I know 1 by 5 is 20%, 2 by 5 is 40%, and so on. So these are the commonly used values I've written over here. So I should know these values in the terms of percentages. So multiply these numbers by 100, you'll get a percentage value. I should know 1 by 7. 1 by 7 is 14.28%. 2 by 7 is 28.57%, and so on till 6 by 7. Okay, I'm just giving the what values I should know. So you just multiply by 100, calculate the value, write it down there. These all values you must mug up the things. I should know these values both ways. If I say 2 by 7, you should tell me 28.57%. If I ask you 28.57%, you should tell me it's 2 by 7. Both ways I need these values. Fine? Fine. Few other must know part. See, somebody might feel, okay, these are the very, very basic things, but I'm telling you, if you do this part before starting your quant solving will be easier because these acts as a speed breakers or hurdles while solving the quant questions. I should know the rules of indices. I should know the identities. Identities means a plus b the whole square, a minus b the whole square, and so on. All these rules. I should know the summation rule. Summation rule means what? 1 plus 2 plus 3 till n. What is the formula? 1 square, 2 square, 3 square till n square. What is the formula? Okay, these are all summation rules I need to know. I should be able to solve simultaneous equations in x and y. If I give you two equation x and y, you should be able to give me x and y value. Somebody says, "ये तो sir आता है मुझे." Very good. As I said, I know many students who don't know this. Practice some 30, 40 questions. Can you solve a quadratic equation and give me the roots? If I give you 3x square plus 10x plus 8 is equal to 0, can you solve this and give me the value of x? Somebody says, I know this very well. Very good. Somebody says, I'm not so comfortable. Okay, solve at least 40, 50 questions of this type. Is that part is very, very clear? Fine. And last is your BODMAS tools. Okay, division, multiplication, addition, subtraction, what I should do first in that. So ye basic part, I nobody will ask you this as a question in the exam. This is before starting your maths part. You prepare all these basic things and then you start with your maths part. Now I show you the con part. Now, before going ahead, I just ask you simple questions. Okay, what is the strategy? What is the strategy of preparation you should have? Should you prepare all the topics, or should you prepare a limited number of topics? I'm asking you. I'm asking your opinion. I'll give you my opinion with data rather than just blindly saying, अरे ऐसा करोगे तो तुम्हारा हो जाएगा मेरा गारंटी है. Let's work on the data because data will speak louder than just ज्ञान. Okay, limited topics करना चाहिए. Very good. Yes, I'm asking the poll. Should you do the limited topics or should you do all the topics? All. Limited का भी तो favor में limited ही है. Basic all. Practice important. अरे okay. Because no time and for no engineering students it is tough to cover. Okay, limited. Fine. Non-engineering students are tough to cover. Fine. Limited but accurate. Okay. Fine. All topic. There it is time. Limited. Chalo, I just give you the simple data of that. Fine. Okay. Now, please understand. For many years, we are talking something on. For example, last 6-7 years, we are talking a lot about the words about data. Okay, company के लिए data important है. Okay, because data gives the idea to everyone. Okay, what are the final in what is the train? So please understand, whatever exams you are conducting. Okay, whatever exams CAT is conducting, since the CAT has become online, CAT has the entire data that students are attempting which kind of questions. Okay, uh, students are, let's say, what I'm saying. which type of question they are attempting, how many questions they are attempting, from which area they are attempting the questions. They have entire data. I just give the rough idea. Let's say in between the CAT paper pattern was like that. DILR was 6 questions, 6 questions, 4 questions, 4 questions. This was a set. This is the DILR paper pattern in between. Okay, for a couple of years this was a paper pattern. So what student realized, अरे 6 question के जो sets है वो difficult है DILR में, they all were attempting, they were not attempting 6 questions, they all were attempting a 4 question set, and most of them getting those 2 sets correct also. Okay, because 4 questions, the number of questions are less, easy set. That was the logic of the students, and that was to a certain extent true also. What CAT did in the third year? Okay, so CAT did, okay, what students are identifying, how students are identifying easy questions. 4 question are easy question. Next year they kept the same number of questions, 20 questions, but they'd say 5 questions, 5 questions, 5 questions, 5 questions. Now identify which is the easier one. Now your strategies fail. Okay, I'll attempt 4 mark question because they will be easy. Your strategies fail. Fine. So I just show you the Quant split. Okay. Now look at these are CAT 24. I've just given you a data, CAT 2024 data for maths. If you look at CAT has asked the questions on all the areas of Quant. Can you check? Even coordinate geometry will find 1 question over here. Is that part is clear? Fine. Okay. Now देखो अभी मैं एकदम सबका स्ट्रैटेजी एकदम क्लियर कर देता हूँ एंड यू जस्ट टेल मी इज इट राइट, व्हाट इज योर फॉलोइंग अटेंड. सब लोग क्या सोच रहे हैं देखो, सब लोगों ने बहुत सारे वीडियोस देखे एंड सब लोग बोल रहे हैं ओके ये अरिथमेटिक है ना सर, स्कूल लेवल वाला पार्ट है. ओके, विल अटेम्प्ट डेफिनेटली अरिथमेटिक करेंगे क्या, दैट इज द वे वी स्टार्ट द सेशन ना, राइट. ईआरपीवी पर दैट इज द वे वी स्टार्ट द प्रिपरेशन आल्सो. एनी मटेरियल यू यूजिंग दे स्टार्ट विद दीस टॉपिक्स ओनली. अरिथमेटिक करेंगे. कितना क्वेश्चंस है? 4 and 3 7 into 9 questions here. Okay, here how many? 4 and 6 and 3 9. Here are how many? Here also 9 questions are there. Last year paper I'm just leaving. So if I get 9 questions, I do it properly and I get it correct. Okay, I have a high chances of getting a what I'm saying, a good score, I'll say. Right? Numbers is not so important. I'll say okay, 2 questions only. Geometry 2 questions, 2 questions, but here it is 3 questions. Coordinate geometry not so important. Look at algebra portion. Algebra has some considerable weightage. Okay, is what, how much? 5 and 8, 5 and 3 8. Here how much? 4 and 3 7. Here how much? 3 and 3 6 and 1 7 questions around in algebra. And permutation combination, just 1 question is asked. Fine. Now let me tell you the past, whatever the past history of CAT is. The data is available with us. When the CAT became online, initial years, everybody was attempting the arithmetic, and arithmetic was of a moderate level, not say easy level. Arithmetic was a moderate level. Okay, so everybody said okay, only do arithmetic, don't do algebra at all. Next year what CAT did, they keep the arithmetic weight is the same only. They keep the arithmetic weight the same only next year, but arithmetic question they made so difficult that if you decide I'll attempt 9 questions in the entire paper, that was also not possible. Using 40 minutes, if I decide to attempt 9 questions also, that is not possible. So much difficult it was made. So you are forced to attempt the algebra questions. Okay, but algebra तो किया ही नहीं है हमने. The strategies की arithmetic ही करेंगे या geometry थोड़ा बहुत करेंगे. Algebra तो हमने किया ही नहीं है. But algebra questions were easy. They were easy quadratic equation questions. They were easy progression questions. They were easy logarithm questions. Some of the papers had logarithm के 3 questions. But logarithm किया ही नहीं है. But 3 questions on just one topic of logarithm. But logarithm किया ही नहीं है. So that's the problem. So I don't mind if you're following a strategy, I'll do arithmetic or I'll do a 50% syllabus and I'm going to do it in depth. Every topic you have to do it in depth. But there are chances that, or let's say for example, example के लिए पूछते हैं कि some of you might have done time and distance as a topic. Okay, very well. Some time is a very basic topic, everybody does that. Some of your time and distance topic आपने किया हुआ है. Are you 100% confident कि time and distance का कोई भी question आएगा मैं क्रैक मारूंगा? Okay, so maybe without time limit, yes. With time limit, may not be sure. Depends upon क्या level का question. So level of difficulty क्या आएगा? I can't predict. Probably number of questions you might predict, and that is the reason you'll find in the recent years the algebra question weightage has gone up. Earlier the arithmetic weightage was higher than this, but recently the algebra question weightage has gone up because more and more students are attempting the only arithmetic area. And CAT का main part क्या है? They want to nullify long-term preparations. They don't want a person is preparing for 2 years or 3 years and cracking the CAT. They don't want that way. They want people to understand the question and have that basic aptitude in that and should be able to crack the question. So my suggestion, my personal suggestion is don't do that limited area. I will suggest, yes, you can definitely skip certain areas. I'll tell you which areas you can skip at this moment, but do all the topics. However, you can decide the order of preparation. Okay, I'll start with this, then I'll do this topic, then I'll do this topic, then I'll do this topic. That is the order in which you can do. That I'll suggest. But try to cover the full syllabus. If you have time, definitely cover the full syllabus. If you don't have a time, ठीक है, then you are doing or you are taking more time for preparation कि नहीं सर एक टॉपिक करने के लिए 4 दिन लग रहा है, ठीक है, then you do a limited syllabus but do it properly. Fine. So let me show you the my preparation plan. So what are the areas? Arithmetic, geometry, coordinate geometry. This is syllabus I'm giving. Algebra, numbers, modern maths, statistics, trigo, operator based questions. Fine. मैं कौन से सजेस्ट कर रहा हूं एरियाज टू प्रिपेयर? देखो, these are the areas in arithmetic you must do. All the topics in arithmetic important, I'll say. I'll definitely face certain amount of questions, almost 1/3 paper minimum on these areas. But when I'm saying you do the all the topics, you don't do this way. Okay, मैंने ये किया, ये किया, ये किया, ये किया. This is not done. ये नहीं चलेगा. Because I don't know whether arithmetic questions will be asked from these areas. I've seen the papers जहाँ पे simple interest, compound interest के 3 questions are asked. So in that paper, simple interest, compound interest is easy important area. So do all the topics in that area. Do all the topics in that area. Okay, fine. I will, as I said that कि मैं description में PPT share कर देता हूँ, आपके पास topic आ जाएगा सारा. I know I'm not able to shift that video, not very technically मुझे समझ में नहीं आ रहा है कैसे करना है. So I'm just giving the list. I'll share this slides in the what I'm saying description, तो आपको idea आ जाएगा वो data में. Fine. Next, ratio, proportion, variation, सब कुछ. So suppose आप simple interest, compound interest कर रहे हो, so do in detail. Simple interest, compound interest में there is a installment का formula also. Do you know installment का formula? Question has been asked in CAT based on that. तो इसमें से कुछ छोड़ेंगे नहीं. In what order I can prepare? Do it in this order. Do it in this order only. In what order I can prepare? Do it in this order. Okay. After arithmetic, at this stage, I will suggest don't do coordinate geometry if you don't have a time. If you have a time, definitely do it. Somebody is not working at home, definitely do this topic. But time नहीं है, don't do coordinate geometry. But have a basic idea. X-axis क्या होता है, Y-axis क्या है, what is the equation of the x-axis, what is the equation of the y-axis, how to plot a point on a graph, how to plot a point on a graph paper, how to draw a line कैसे draw करते हैं. तो बेसिक आइडिया ऑफ coordinate geometry, फॉर्मूला की जरूरत नहीं, बट बेसिक आइडिया होना चाहिए. देखो, ज्योमेट्री मेंसुरेशन इंपॉर्टेंट एरिया है. Okay, I have shared this fact with many other people that CAT 17 onwards till CAT 24. Okay, how many? 8 years. In last 8 years, if you see the geometry and mensuration question, not a single question with a diagram is asked. एक भी geometry का question में diagram, हमारे दिमाग में क्या है? Geometry means diagram in the front of you. Not a single question they have given a diagram in the question. Well, they will narrate you to draw the diagram, but no diagram given for geometry mensuration question. So देखो, Many people feel like geometry mention is a difficult topic. Yes, it's a vast area. But think the reverse way. अरे मैंने स्कूल लेवल पे कुछ तो किया है. Basic right angle triangle I know, equilateral triangle I can do well. So I will not say to keep geometry and mensuration as a skip. You do it. In the exam, question may be difficult, maybe easy. You don't know. So CAT has asked many easy questions also on geometry mensuration. Okay. So coordinate geometry, I'll say at this stage you can skip. Algebra में देखो मैं क्या suggest करता हूँ. Quadratic equation very important. ये दो areas are very important. So I will suggest the order like this: number 1, number 2, number 3, number instead of progressions I can put it. I'll put it this way: number 4. Then you do number say 1, 2, 4 नहीं 1, 2, 3 हो जाएगा ना. Sorry, 1, 2, 3. Then this is number 4. Fine. Then number 5, number 6. This is the order I suggest. So this is number 3 and number 6. Okay. So do it in this order. So you do quadratic equations in algebra, inequality modulus you do in algebra. Okay. Then you do indices and surds and logarithms. Logarithm important topic. हर साल logarithm में questions है. I don't see a paper without a logarithm questions. If you see the recent last 3-4 साल के पेपर देखोगे, every paper you'll find a logarithm questions. और एक ही टॉपिक है indices logarithm. वही rules based topic है. So do that part. But these two topics very important. Quadratic equation, inequality modulus. So algebra में सबसे ज्यादा वेटेज ये टॉपिक है. Considering the present trend. Fine. नंबर्स में ये सारा कुछ आ जाता है. So numbers I will suggest a vast area. Okay, but the number of questions asked is not that high. So again I will suggest to do all the basics. क्या मुझे पता है सबका. So at this stage somebody wants to skip, I will say last 2 digits I don't see recently questions are asked. Okay, last 2 digits बहुत पहले CAT में पूछा, but not recently very questions are asked. I'm not saying आप skip करो, टाइम नहीं है तो skip करो. ठीक है. Then HC इसमें important area HCF LCM है. Factors पे questions has been asked. ठीक है. Remainder concept पे questions has been asked. Fine. So these are the 3 important areas. Divinity rules the questions has been asked. Fine. So at least ye minimum portion you do it from the numbers part. Numbers are very vast area. So when you cover in the class, we do almost 7, 8 classes to cover the entire thing. It's a very vast area. तो अगर आप prepare करोगे तो definitely आपको 3-4 दिन लगेंगे सिर्फ numbers करने के लिए. Is that part is clear? So I've listed on the important part. I'm not saying you skip these things. These are syllabus of numbers. Okay. Yeah. My name is Amol. Other areas. अभी देखो permutation combinations. Okay. Trigo at this stage. देखो Trigo at this stage I'll say you don't know. Those who haven't done Trigo, let's say आपने CAT में कभी किया, 12th में कभी Trigo किया ही नहीं है, या after 10 कभी Trigo किया नहीं है, don't worry about that. Statistics, you just need to know the meaning of mean, mode, median. ये terms का meaning पता होना जरूरी है. I haven't seen a questions on recent में standard deviation या mean deviation, वो सब पे question नहीं है, but mean, mode, median का meaning पे questions है. Probability questions are not asked in CAT. मैं last 17 onwards आप सारे क्वेश्चन पेपर देख लो, not a single question on probability. Yes, permutation combination questions are asked, but the weightage is not so high. It could be 1 question or 2 questions. You won't find 5 questions in a paper of permutation combination. So those who feel कि नहीं मेरा दिमाग काम ही नहीं करता, because those are not very straightforward questions. You know the concepts, then you can solve. Some questions are straightforward. So I'll say you do it at the end. That's why I said it's the other areas. You do it at the end. You don't do it at the start. But don't skip it. At least इसमें सबसे important part है, maximum number of questions are asked on digits and numbers. तो permutation combination बहुत vast area, but digits और numbers के question most important. At least वो करके जाओ. So maximum questions on permutation combination, digits and numbers. Do those areas first. Is that part is clear? Operator based question. आ जाएगा, मतलब एज अ टॉपिक करने की जरूरत नहीं है, एट दिस स्टेज से आ जाएगा आपको एग्जाम में. फाइन, इफ यू अंडरस्टैंड द मीनिंग ऑफ इट. नाउ DI plus LR, I just show you what you are supposed to do for DI LR. देखो, DI LR में calculation is the key. Okay, if I'm not wrong, if you have gone through the CAT notification properly, have they mentioned anywhere calculator is allowed? Anybody? आपने अगर उसका नोटिफिकेशन देखा होगा कैट का वेबसाइट पे, आई हैवंट सीन कहीं पे बोला कि कैलकुलेटर इज अलाउड इन द कैट. लास्ट ईयर अलाउड था, अब तक अलाउड है. विल द नेक्स्ट ईयर बी अलाउड? See, CAT allowed you to use the calculator. They stopped asking the calculation based questions. Earlier, the questions in CAT were a lot of calculation based in DI. They allowed calculator. They stopped asking the calculation based questions. Is that okay? मैं क्या बोल रहा हूँ? तो ऐसा हो सकता है. I'm very less chances that CAT will come back with the calculation based questions and you don't have a calculator in the paper. Because last 3-4 साल के जो भी notification you see, they haven't mentioned the calculator is allowed. On-screen calculator is allowed or not. So calculation the key in the DI part. मुझे 3 टाइप के कैलकुलेशन अच्छी तरह आनी चाहिए. Find A% of B approximately. Convert a fraction into percentages. 329 upon 568 is approximately how many percent? And comparison of fractions. दो fractions दे तो कौन बड़ा है कौन छोटा है, approximately I should be able to compare. Fine. So before starting with DI, first you practice these calculation part. Before starting your DI, revise the basics of percentages, profit and loss. Okay, learn how to use the calculator. Exam में calculator use करना is a skill. Suppose मैंने तुमको पूछा 297 285 add 30%, तो हम लोग 30% निकाल के नहीं ऐड करेंगे. 285 if you are to add 30%, you just multiply by 1.3. तो this is what is expected on calculator. मैन्युअली कर रहे हो तो शायद 30% निकाल के ऐड करेंगे. If you are doing on a calculator, you will multiply by 1.3. Okay, 385 becomes 597. कितना परसेंट इंक्रीज है? Don't do difference upon initial value. You just do 597 upon 385 into 100. जो भी आंसर आएगा subtract 100%. So that will give you the percentage. For example, I think I'm not giving. So answer है 150%. तो 150% आया मतलब 50% इंक्रीज है. So first learn what is the right way of using the calculator. Manual way of doing is different. Calculator पे करने का तरीका अलग है. So how to use a calculator that you understand with the help of percentage basics. Fine. Now I am just showing you few facts about DILR. अगर मैं 2017 से 24 के पेपर्स देखता हूँ तो मेरे पास क्या facts है, just listen carefully. Can you go through the first? If you look at the nowadays set, it is very difficult to tell unless it's a very calculation based set. It is very difficult to tell should I count it as a DI set or should I count it as a LR set. Most of the set is reasoning based DI or con based reasoning. दोनों तरफ से सेट देखते हैं. Fine. If you look at the past CAT papers, मैं last 20 साल के सारे papers देखता हूँ, they have asked a considerable number of questions on concept of averages. जो हमने averages, allegation वो जो सीखा है, averages, mixed allegation, there has been question asked based on those. Okay, there are few sets asked in DI a couple of years back where understanding of mean, mode, median, इसका meaning पता होना जरूरी है. Okay, and couple of sets are asked, not only one set. Couple of sets are जहाँ पे mean, mode, median ये concept जरूरी है. CAT 17 to CAT 2024, 9 sets from Venn diagram has been asked. So almost every alternate paper you'll find one set on Venn diagram. So can you see now the Venn diagram becomes an important topic as far as the CAT is concerned. Question based on averages is an important topic. To Venn diagram it is on based on 2 sets also, 3 sets also, 4 sets also. 2, 3, 4 sets पे Venn diagrams are asked. So 4 set Venn diagram has been also asked. games and tournaments, good variety of question. I will not say games and tournament attempt karo. See, if you are playing games, let's say for example, somebody's following cricket, somebody's following tennis, you know how that game is played, somebody's following chess, probably it will help you to understand how the games and tournaments questions to solve. But if you don't have a flavor of those sports, probably games and tournament will become a difficult topic for you. But a good variety of questions on games and tournament has been asked. If you look at a cat 17 onwards paper, I don't suggest you attempt good, but Venn diagram, average based sets, definitely doable. Fine. Let me go ahead. What are the kind of questions are asked on average? बहुत सारे सेट्स है भाई भाभी. मेरे हिसाब से ऑलमोस्ट 8-9 सेट्स है जहाँ पे एवरेजेस कॉन्सेप्ट पे क्वेश्चन पूछे. इफ आई गो प्रायर टू 17 तो और सेट्स मिल जाएंगे मुझे. ठीक है. सो वी हैड कंडक्टेड फॉर फ्यू स्टूडेंट्स हैड कंडक्टेड वन वर्कशॉप. इवन अपने टाइम के हैंडआउट में वो सारे टाइप के सेट्स कवर्ड किए हुए हैं. फाइन. सो यू रिफर द पास कैट पेपर्स, आपको एवरेजेस बेस्ड सेट मिल जाएंगे. क्लियर आइडिया? कौन बोल रहा है एमकेट इजियर साइड पे? अरे इट्स अ फीलिंग और इट्स अ फैक्ट? दैट्स माय क्वेश्चन. ये फीलिंग है कि फैक्ट है? देखते हैं. अच्छा, तो मुझे प्रिपेयर क्या करना है अभी? ये ना हैंडआउट के कोड है फॉर द टाइम स्टूडेंट्स. जो टाइम के स्टूडेंट्स है, दे शुड गो इन दिस ऑर्डर. फर्स्ट यू फिनिश डीआईएचओ हैंडआउट. नॉन टाइम स्टूडेंट्स के लिए मैं बता रहा हूँ, डेक्स एंड एलआरपी हैंडआउट, डीएटी एंड एलएटी हैंडआउट, डीडब्ल्यूएच एंड एलडब्ल्यूएचओ हैंडआउट. Those who are non-time students, I say that you should have some practice material to practice DI part. One part I can suggest is you solve the past CAT papers. But look at, there's a variety of questions which as a DI or LR are important, but not asking CAT. For example, circular arrangement. Circular arrangement question we do it in the class for the student, but CAT के papers में you will not find that part. That doesn't mean that circular arrangement won't be asking CAT. Getting the idea? So I will say you should have some amount kind of material जहाँ से आप DI and LR practice कर सको, plus you can solve on the past CAT papers. If you don't have a practice material at this stage, then I'll say okay, you fully rely on the past CAT papers. So non-time students have some practice material जहाँ से आप DI LR के set solve करें. I'll always suggest a time material because we, as I said, we update every year. Handouts हमने सारे हर साल update होते हैं. Those who don't have, then you can, the only source you have right now the past CAT papers. फाइन. सो आपको टाइम के वेबसाइट पे भी, यूट्यूब चैनल पे भी बहुत सारे पास कैट पेपर्स सॉल्व मिल जाएंगे. इज दैट ओके? लेट मी गो अहेड. सो दैट्स अबाउट माय डीएलआर प्रिपरेशन. लुक एट वर्बल एबिलिटी टू डिसाइड क्या प्रिपरेशन करना है. आई जस्ट गिव यू द वीआरसी का स्प्लिट एंड देन यू ओनली टेल मी क्या प्रिपरेशन करना है. Look at, this is a breakup. So out of 24 questions, look at slot 1. All the slots have the same breakup. 16 questions are on reading comprehension. So 4 sets into 4 questions per set. 3 questions were on sentence replacement. So एक sentence दिया है, passage में where I should put that sentence. Para summary and or sentence, they are given the number of sentences. So one sentence is not fitting in that passage, which is that sentence. Is that okay? So if you observe, all the questions asked last year were the, what I'll say, a paragraph based questions. So RC is a paragraph based question. All these were the paragraph based questions. There were no questions on grammar. There were no questions on vocab. SI आएगा क्या? More likely. Okay. So my suggestion is what to you. Most of these questions are the para based questions. So passage understanding questions. Fine. So what you do? Okay, somebody is asking me what is the AIMCAT. See, AIMCAT is basically all India mock cats. Okay, so in simple words I'll say it's a mock cats. So these are designs on the patterns of cat, considering the trends of last 20 years. Cat kaise kaise ट्रेंड चेंज करते रहे, हाउ कैट सरप्राइज द स्टूडेंट्स in the terms of pattern, in the terms of difficulty level, in the terms of type of questions, right? So what we suggest you कि verbal का the types of questions, there is a good variety of questions is there. So you can either refer the past cat papers before starting the preparation कि यार क्या type के questions आ रहे हैं, or what some simply one can do it is what, give one or two AIMCATs without any preparation, give any mock cats, give the full syllabus cat papers on the pattern of the cat. So आपको आइडिया आ जाएगा कि what types of questions are asked. That's the first thing. Second, that will also give you the idea कि भाई how much I am able to score without preparation and what are the areas I struggle. Do I struggle with the reading speed? Do I struggle with the understanding the passage? Do I struggle with analyzing or comprehending that passage? Where is your struggle? So that you note it down. Right? Once you do that part, then once you're familiar with the types of questions which are asked in the exam, what I'll suggest you, okay, because it may be a, let's say for example, the odd sentence out. The instead of odd sentence, they can ask you the parajumble question also. That four sentences you arrange in a order, and what is the correct order? They can ask you this kind of question also. So understand those types of questions. Once you understand those types of questions, your first priority is finishing the syllabus, complete the syllabus. Make sure that you are aware of your practice all types of questions. Fine. So probably if you're starting now, so I'll say a 2 months deadline is okay. 2 महीने में आपका पूरा syllabus का practice करके होना चाहिए. Probably RC, this is verbal is the only area जहाँ पे probably daily practice is required rather than continuously 3-4 days I am doing the only one topic. Fine. Probably I'll say you can start solving 2 RC per day or 1 RC per day. That is the way you can do it. But what I just suggest, first important part is nowadays the paper is online. When the paper is all offline, I used to show to the people the copy of the paper, and I used to ask, okay, will you read this paper in 2 hours? Will you solve this paper in 2 hours? So much reading is there in the 2 hours paper. So आपका reading speed अच्छा होना चाहिए. Reading speed not only will help you in that verbal part, will also help in Quant and DI part also. तो वहाँ पे भी बहुत सारा reading है. So you make sure that you start reading a variety of areas, like you read the psychology passages, metaphysics passages, sociology. So various types of styles of passages you start reading on that part. So what you'll understand when you start reading these different types of passages, you'll realize, okay, which of the types I'm comfortable with, what is my comfort zone. So that will help you to solve. When you have to choose out of 4 passages, you have to choose only 2 or 3. That will help you to make the decision, okay, a psychology passage I'm not very so comfortable with, but probably sociology passages I'm okay with. So you attempt those kind of passages in the exam. Fine. Then once you start what I'm saying, reading these passages, now you start writing the summary. Okay, what is a small summary of those passages? Then you try to think, okay, what is the author's point of view? Okay, so you start thinking about these small things after reading the passages. So that will help you to answer the RC questions well, as well as all paragraph questions well through this part. Fine. So here the reading is very important. A daily reading or daily solving of the RC part is very important. Not only have to solve the RC part, initially you solve without time limit. Later you try to give the time limit. Okay, this is what the passage means. This is a small summary of the passage. This is what the author wants to communicate to this. This is my understanding from the passage. Then try to answer the questions. This you do without time limit. Slowly you try to do with time limit. Because अगर आपके 4 RC passages है, so you don't make a strategy like, okay, I'll attempt RC, non-RC I will leave. No, don't do that strategy. A mix of RC and non-RC will definitely produce a better score. जैसे odd sentence house या sentence insert करना है passage में. This kind of question are manageable compared to some, or less time consuming compared to some RC passages. Fine. So I can see the overall syllabus is more about the passage based rather than the vocab or grammar based part. But still, I'll suggest you go through the past papers and go through the types of questions asked and practice on a daily basis rather than doing it in 2-3 go. Fine. I'll say, okay, it is okay but not for RC. RC आपको अलग अलग टाइप के पैसेज प्रैक्टिस करने पड़ेंगे रोशनी. Fine. Now, fourth stage is the mock cats. Okay. Now look at those who have finished more than around 50% of the syllabus. I'll say you take one mock every week. Every week, one mock. Those who say, okay, I'm just going to start. So I'll suggest if you're just going to start, my suggestion is if you're taken a, if let's say, for example, you are already a time student or you're a student somewhere else and your mock cats are already going on, I will suggest, okay, every week give that one mock cat. बहुत बार आरसी इंग्लिश में आप बहुत सारा पार्ट अटेम्प्ट कर सकते हो विदाउट मच ऑफ अ प्रैक्टिस विद योर प्रायर नॉलेज. डीएलआर में एक सेट आप मैनेज कर सकते हो. कॉन्ट में फ्यू क्वेश्चंस यू कैन मैनेज एंड सी व्हाट यू आर एबल टू मैनेज. ओके, दोज हु आर जस्ट स्टार्टिंग, I may not say you give you every week one MCAT right now, but at least finish some 20-25% syllabus and then start taking the mocks. What is the minimum mocks? My suggestion is minimum 10 mocks for everyone, considering some are starting right now. Those who already started doing done considerable amount of syllabus, you definitely take every mock which is happening every week. So what is mock? Basically, it's a replicated CAT paper exactly on the syllabus of CAT, exactly on the pattern of CAT, and that will give the percentile score. One part is taking the mock. Second part is what? Analyzing that mock. That analysis is very, very important. Okay. So my suggestion is what? जब आप एनालाइज कर रहे हो ना, हम लोग हमेशा क्या देखते हैं? We already see only one parameter, which I got right and wrong. That's it. और कुछ देखते नहीं हम. But can you ask a question? Okay, I got this question right. I spent around 7 minutes in it. Is it worth getting that right? या एक क्वेश्चन मेरा रॉन्ग गया, आफ्टर स्पेंडिंग 5 मिनट्स आई गॉट इट रॉन्ग. ओके, सो आप जब एनालाइज कर रहे हो तो वो चीजें देखो कि वेर यू वेस्टेड योर टाइम. सो आप सिर्फ एक्यूरेसी मत देखो, यू डू द एक्यूरेसी एंड स्पीड ऑल्सो. दैट इज वेरी वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. फाइन. ऑल्सो ट्राई टू differentiate between your comfortable area and scoring area. Let's say I am an engineer. I feel geometry very comfortable. But am I really scoring in geometry? Probably I might be scoring in arithmetic questions. You getting my point? So आपका comfortable area कौन सा, scoring area कौन सा, उस पर डिपेंड. Okay, it might happen that okay, अरे मेरे को though I am good in maths, I am not able to get an average based question correct in DILR. But शायद games and tournament में मेरे questions correct आ रहे. I'm not comfortable in solving games and tournaments. So आपका comfortable and scoring दोनों में differentiate करना सीखो. ठीक है? Build your strategy based on that analysis. Your target should be in the terms of percentile, not in the terms of score. Because every mock is of a different difficulty level. So आप percentile का target रखो. तो आज आपने 60 percentile का target रखा है. Okay, next mock आप 70 percentile रखो. Next mock आप 75 percentile target रखो. 80 percentile target रखो. After 90 आप शायद 92, 93 थोड़ा थोड़ा improve करना पड़ेगा. So एक दिन में आप 60 से 90 जम नहीं होंगे, इतना श्योर करो. But if you analyze the mocks properly, I'm very sure you can analyze your, you can get your, what I'm saying, final improvement your score. Make और एक important point बताता हूँ. Suppose you make one mistake less in your score. One mistake less in your score. Okay? Now look at, अगर मेरा one mistake less हुआ तो जो -1 था वो +3 हो जाएगा. That will increase my score by 4 marks. One mistake less will increase my score by 4 marks. Am I right? अगर मैंने हर सेक्शन में मेरा +4 हो गया, one mistake less in every section, ओवरऑल मेरा स्कोर 12 मार्क्स से बढ़ जाएगा, which is equivalent to 5 percentile to 10 percentile jump. So just by making the one mistake less in every section, your overall score can improve by 5 to 10 percentile without getting anything extra more correct. Getting the idea? So that analysis is very very important. तो जो एनालिसिस का मैं बात कर रहा हूँ, you have to do speed also, you have to do accuracy analysis also. So I generally suggest you make a grid like this. This is your high speed, high accuracy area, low speed but high accuracy area, low speed, low accuracy area, high speed, low accuracy area. जहां पे speed is the problem, you practice more. जहां पे accuracy is a problem, okay, you try to revisit your basics. मैं कह रहा हूं जहां पे स्पीड का प्रॉब्लम है आप प्रैक्टिस ज्यादा करो. जहां पे एक्यूरेसी क्वेश्चन ही करेक्ट नहीं आ रहा है, मींस देयर इज अ प्रॉब्लम इन योर बेसिक्स पार्ट. रिवाइज दैट टॉपिक प्रॉपर्ली. ओके, सो दिस इज द एरिया आई विल अटेम्प्ट फर्स्ट. जो मेरा हाई स्पीड हाई दैट आई विल अटेम्प्ट फर्स्ट. दिस इज द एरिया आई विल अटेम्प्ट सेकंड. दिस इज द एरिया आई विल अटेम्प्ट थर्ड इन द पेपर. दिस इज द एरिया आई विल स्किप. जहां पे एक्यूरेसी भी कम है और स्पीड भी कम है, आई विल ट्राई टू स्किप दैट एरिया. Is that okay? So that is how I can take a decision on the basis of which areas question types to attempt, which question types to leave. So for example मैंने mock analyze किया और मुझे realize हुआ कि अरे मेरा जो let's say mod वाले जो questions है वो मेरा बहुत टाइम लगता है सॉल्व करने के लिए, accuracy भी नहीं आता मेरा, wrong जाता है. Better leave the mod question in the exam. Okay, so हर एक टॉपिक को इस चार एरियाज में कैटेगराइज करो. So I might say, okay, ratio questions are here. I can say, okay, calculation based DI is here. I can say, okay, linear arrangement के questions are here. Example के लिए बोलना. Low speed high accuracy probably reading comprehension मेरा low speed high accuracy है. High speed low accuracy area कौन से है? For example, I feel let's say para summary के questions है. मैं फटाफट आंसर कर लेता हूँ बट मेरा आंसर राइट नहीं आ रहा है. So you categorize your areas in these four regions and then speed problem है वहां पे प्रैक्टिस ज्यादा करो, accuracy problem है वहां पे आप just revisit your basics part. Fine. And look at just somewhere in the first week of November or mid November, yeah, mid November बहुत लेट हो जाएगा, तो 10th of November तक you finalize your strategy. Now strategy क्या हो सकता है? Look at strategy क्या हो सकता है? For example, a good student, मैं एक बार एरिया वाइज बताता हूँ. A good student what does, अगर कौन का पेपर सॉल्व कर रहा है वो कैसे सॉल्व करता है? क्वेश्चन नंबर 1 he'll attempt, क्वेश्चन नंबर 2 he'll attempt, क्वेश्चन नंबर 3 ट्राई टू अटेम्प्ट, बट अगर उसको लगा कि टाइम 1 मिनट 1.5 मिनट में सॉल्व नहीं हो रहा है, स्किप द क्वेश्चन. क्वेश्चन नंबर 4 he'll attempt, 5 बहुत टाइम लग रहा है, he'll leave and so on, and that is how he'll reach the question number 22. तो that is one strategy. But बहुत बार वो लोग क्या होते हैं, क्वेश्चन नंबर 1 2 3 4 से शुरू करते हैं एंड दे रीच ओनली क्वेश्चन नंबर 12 ओनली. तो फिर मैं क्या सजेस्ट करता हूँ, यू डिवाइड योर पेपर्स. और मैं कौन की बात कर रहा हूँ, तो आप कौन को दो पार्ट्स में डिवाइड करो, 20 मिनट्स 20 मिनट्स. ऐसा सोचो कि 20 मिनट्स का ही टेस्ट है. हियर आई हैव टू सॉल्व क्वेश्चन नंबर 1 to 11, हियर आई हैव टू सॉल्व क्वेश्चन नंबर 12 to 22. एम आई राइट? सो जैसे आपका 20 मिनट्स हो जाएगा, ये मॉक में प्रैक्टिस करना है आपको, दिस यू हैव टू प्रैक्टिस इन मॉक. जैसे आपका 20 मिनट्स हो जाएगा, यू शिफ्ट टू द क्वेश्चन नंबर 12. बस बहुत बार क्या होता है, अरे मैं क्वेश्चन में 12 तक ही पहुंचा, लास्ट के 4 क्वेश्चन वेर वेरी इजी, सो यू वोंट हैव दैट कंप्लेंट हियर. ये प्रैक्टिस करो. विल इट वर्क फॉर यू? इट वर्क्स, फॉलो दैट इन एक्चुअल एग्जाम. इट डजंट वर्क, चेंज योर स्ट्रेटजी. ओके, माय रीडिंग स्पीड इज लो, तो व्हाट आई डू, मैं जनरली सिंगल लाइन 2 लाइन के क्वेश्चन अटेम्प्ट करता हूं. मैं जब फर्स्ट स्टार्ट करता हूं अटेम्प्ट करना, मेरा लॉजिक क्या है, आई विल नॉट अटेम्प्ट अ क्वेश्चन मोर देन 2 लाइंस. व्हाई? बिकॉज माय कंटेंट इज ओके, आई नो द बेसिक्स ऑफ ऑल द टॉपिक्स. मुझे रीडिंग कम है मेरा, तो 4 लाइन का क्वेश्चन पढ़ने में मेरा 2 मिनट चला जाएगा. सो आई अटेम्प्ट 1 लाइन 2 लाइन क्वेश्चंस फर्स्ट, then I come to the 3 line 4 line questions, and then I attempt the bigger question. I'm not saying 1 line 2 line questions are easy, but as I'm good with my content, I prefer attempting smaller questions because reading is lesser. Conceptually, if I'm strong, I can attempt those questions. I can follow that strategy. Check out, does it work for you? Doesn't work. So mocks, जो mock बोल रहा हूं मैं, it is for experimenting the things. कोई बोलता है DILR में वाटी लगा हुआ है, कुछ स्कोर ही नहीं आ रहा है, ठीक है. नेक्स्ट मॉक 40 मिनट, पहला 10 मिनट यू जस्ट डिसाइड विच सेट टू चूज ओनली वन सेट, अटेम्प्ट इट फुल्ली. अगर आपका वो 5 क्वेश्चंस करेक्ट आ गया, एक 5 क्वेश्चन या 4 क्वेश्चन का सेट से लेके और वो करेक्ट आ गया, यू डू यू कि आपका लास्ट मॉक से परसेंटाइल इंप्रूव हो जाएगा। 2 मॉक कंसिस्टेंट होगा, 1 सेट अटेम्प्ट हो रहा है, चलो नेक्स्ट 2 मार्क्स अटेम्प्ट 2 सेट्स, 3-4 मॉक्स में 2 सेट्स अटेम्प्ट हो गए, देन गो फॉर द थर्ड सेट। तो वो स्लोली इंप्रूव होगा, इमीडिएट नेक्स्ट डे मेरे 3 अटेम्प्ट किया ऐसा नहीं होगा। सो जो भी एक्सपेरिमेंट करना है वो आपको मॉक में करना है। इफ यू डोंट एक्सपेरिमेंट इन मॉक्स, let me tell you, you will not be able to finalize your strategy. Once you experiment in the mock, you will understand, okay, this works better for me. Okay, should I attempt RC first or RC last? Start one paper with RC first, one paper with RC last. How many RC? 2, 3. One paper you decide, I'll attempt only 2 RCs today. Next paper you decide, I'll attempt 3 RCs today. Check what is the final outcome. One paper you experiment only RC. Okay, one paper non RC पहले attempt करेंगे, बाकी RC attempt करेंगे. Check what is the outcome. If the scores are improving by a particular strategy, finalize that strategy for the final exam. Is that okay? I think I have given that data, how many questions are required to attempt. See, मेरा understanding क्या look at. I don't want to कितना attempt करोगे, आपने 15 attempt किया और आपका 8 wrong गया तो कुछ मतलब नहीं है। उससे अच्छा आपने 10 attempt किया और 1 ही wrong गया, that is a better one. अगर 15 attempt करके आपका 8 wrong गया तो फायदा नहीं है, 10 attempt करके 1 ही wrong है, that is a better one. So I prefer more on the accuracy rather than the number of attempts. So first you prefer accuracy. As your accuracy improve, then you try to improve your number of attempts. Is that okay? Fine. So that's all from my side. So you have any questions to answer? I will answer that question, because we already almost close to 10. So couple of minutes I'll take the questions and then I will stop this. How many are sufficient to scratch for all areas from now? They will be Ayush. If you're doing nothing, you have enough time, I'll say you should work hard for at least 6 hours. चाहे तो 6 hours में 2 hours आपका classes होगा या 4 hours आपको घर पे काम करना है. So minimum 6 hours if you are starting from now. But यार I am a working candidate, मुझे इतना टाइम है ही नहीं. So I'll suggest, if you are planning to take a break, कि नहीं यार मैं 1 month छुट्टी का बात किया हुआ है बॉस से, instead of taking that break 1 month before CAT, better take that 1 month break now. Because before CAT, if you take a 1 month break and you realize, okay, अरे 1 month में तो होने वाला ही नहीं है, so that this year is gone from your side. So better, if you're trying to take a break, take break now. That is my suggestion. But minimum, those who don't have time, minimum 2 hours, maximum 6 hours is sufficient for the CAT preparation. I'll share the slide in the description. I'll just talk with the technical team. How can I share these slides? Okay, so that you'll have a better idea of the data. Fine. So if you do the AIMCAT and solve the time material, do we have a separate previous year's paper? देखो, अगर टाइम मटेरियल सॉल्व करोगे तो आपको पहले आप टाइम का मटेरियल सॉल्व करो. ओके, बिकॉज जो वॉट एवर टाइप्स ऑफ क्वेश्चन एंड द कॉन्सेप्ट ऑन विच द क्वेश्चंस आर आस्क्ड, वी आर कवरिंग इन द मटेरियल. सो इफ यू सॉल्व द टाइम मटेरियल, डेफिनेटली विल बी एबल टू सॉल्व द कैट क्वेश्चंस. ओके, बिकॉज वो कॉन्सेप्ट सारे आपके हो गए हैं. फिर पास्ट क्वेश्चंस करने का जरूरत है. उल्टा करोगे, अरे मैंने मटेरियल नहीं सॉल्व किया, आई एम सॉल्विंग द पास्ट क्वेश्चन, तो प्रॉब्लम क्या होगा? एज आई डोंट नो द कॉन्सेप्ट, हाउ विल आई एबल टू सॉल्व द क्वेश्चंस देन? बीकॉम एंड कैट, अरे यार वो आपको टाइम निकालना पड़ेगा. सी, आई एम वेरी मच श्योर कि दैट एवरीबडी हैज अ इनफ अमाउंट ऑफ टाइम. The we spend so much of time on watching reels, watching a lot of movies, okay, social activities. Cut down of that for the 3 months. Okay, because if you get a good, if you say, look at, if you utilize these 3 months properly, you get a good percentile, good institute, okay, आपका 1 year of more preparation बच जाएगा. आप 3 महीना टाइम पास करोगे तो शायद आपको एक और अटेम्प्ट देना पड़ेगा. So आपका 1 साल का मेहनत बच जाएगा. That is the way I think. Another arithmetic topic is the Quant, because it has been 1 month now and I am stuck on PPA. हाँ ठीक है, आप अरिथमेटिक खत्म कर दो ना. हर एक का स्पीड अलग अलग है ना. मैंने जो एग्जांपल दिया आपको, 2000 मीटर का रेस इज द टेस्ट, तो 2000 मीटर शायद एक पर्टिकुलर टाइम में कंप्लीट करने के लिए फॉर मी विल टेक मोर टाइम, बिकॉज एज अ पर इंडिविजुअल, एज अ इंडिविजुअल मुझे 2000 मीटर का रेस कम करना है, तो पहले तो मुझे वजन कम करना पड़ेगा मेरा. आई एम ओवरवेट पर्सन, so to reduce my weight, then I'll start building my stamina, then I will start practicing the 2000 full run, and they'll check कि कितना time लग रहा है. So speed is different for different people. So I'll suggest you can calculate कि तुमको कितना time लग रहा है, and based on that you go, okay, you're taking one topic taking 4 days, ठीक है, तो फिर मुझे 20 टॉपिक के लिए कितना टाइम लगेगा, तो इतने डेज है ही नहीं अपने पास. So cut short on the topic, then I give you the order of the topic, you go in that order. That is my suggestion. See, look at what MCAT's का purpose is. Look at purpose is not you should I should set a paper in such a way that you should do well, or पेपर कौन से भी लेवल का हो, ओके, अल्टीमेटली मैटर्स द परसेंटाइल स्कोर. जो मैंने एग्जांपल दिया विद जीरो स्कोर आल्सो यू कैन बी 100%. सो एमकैट का पर्पस क्या है, टू गेट यू एक्वेंटेड विद डिफरेंट डिफरेंट सिचुएशंस, कि भाई ये पेपर पैटर्न है तो व्हाट इज योर स्ट्रेटजी, आरसी बढ़ गया तो व्हाट इज योर स्ट्रेटजी, आरसी कम हो गया तो व्हाट इज योर स्ट्रेटजी, डिफिकल्टी लेवल अप गया डीआईएलआर में तो व्हाट इज योर स्ट्रेटजी. सो एमकैट इज जस्ट गेटिंग यू एक्सपोजर टू द डिफरेंट सिचुएशंस. दैट्स इट, दैट इज द पर्पस ऑफ एमकैट. Doing well in MCAT is of no use right now, but what you learn through that MCAT, that is very very important. अरे मैं constantly 90% ला रहा हूँ and I'm not learning anything, probably in the actual exam आप 93-94 पे end हो जाओगे, आप 98-95 नहीं पहुंच पाओगे, 99-98.5 नहीं पहुंच पाओगे. So why you're losing, you're not in the upper percentile range, you need to analyze that part properly. That is very important. Fine. मैं एनसीईआरटी वगैरह में अभी सजेस्ट नहीं कर रहा हूँ. मैं आपको क्या सजेस्ट कर रहा हूँ, आई सजेस्ट यू, मैंने जो स्कूल लेवल बेसिक्स बोले वो पहले खत्म कर दो. वंस यू फिनिश द स्कूल लेवल बेसिक्स, ओके, देन यू स्टार्ट डूइंग योर कॉन्ट पार्ट, इट विल बी इजियर फॉर यू. फाइन, नो इश्यूज. Okay, fine. So we'll just end the session because it was 1 hour session, but I have already extended it. So I hope I clear all the doubts and the pathway for preparation, and the data which I've shown will be more useful for you for the preparation. I hope so. Just they will be available at a later stage. You can check with your center, Jamin. ठीक है. I'm not sure, Aditya. I need to just check with the technical team. If it is recorded, it will be definitely available for you. Okay. Mostly it should be, but I'm not sure about it because I don't want to commit on that. Fine. Sure. Thank you all of you. I'll just end this session.